Hi, my name is Couros Honaramiz. I'm 26 years old. I was born and raised in Thessaloniki, originally from Iran. My parents are refugees and they came here in the 94. Okay, that's actually quite interesting. The definition of, it actually starts from a young age because people throw the word refugee and migrant around and they usually think it's the same thing. And growing up I thought it was the same thing as well. It really took the effort of my parents to kind of explain to me in their own experience and their own words. Over time, the definition changed. Even though the definition of itself has remained the same since 1951, from the Geneva Convention, it remained pretty much the same over my growing up in school. And it took a lot of effort, a lot of active learning, active effort into integrating, and actually even correcting myself, but also people that might have questions about it. I can't recall a specific event, but overall I'd say my mom is an inspiration regarding activism and also speaking out about your own rights. She explained to us that it's not we shouldn't take it for granted. That in her upbringing and also her time where she left Iran as a refugee during the revolution of Iran, she explained to us that what we take for granted, we by meaning us, our generation in this country, but also in EU, for being able to speak our opinion, our rights, standing up for our rights, be able to be vocal and actually act on it, isn't something that's actually been given to everyone. So I'd say that a person rather than a moment was my mom. Informing myself. It requires a lot of information because there's a lot of misinformation from there. As my own experience working with the asylum service and working with refugees for the past 5-6 years almost, I've been misinformed sometimes regarding EU policies, even the policies in Greece, within Greece, and how they differ from EU policies, even in practice or in theory. Active involvement, active effort in participating and informing yourself and educating yourself in regards to what goes around, what things are developing, how they're developing, and having an open eye, because many things are changing and evolving, and in order to be a part of it, you have to have an open eye for it. Biggest obstacles, I'd consider that it did bring some division, because especially when I started working with refugees and participated more in activities, either in social activities or psychosocial activities with social workers, when I expressed my experience, my opinions, and how inspiring it was and what I learned from it and how I look forward for it, I realized even childhood friends of mine distinguished and voiced their opinions in regards to refugees and migrants and the whole world of it. And it wasn't the most pleasant, I'd say. I'd say that in my experience that I have gained over the past couple of years, unfortunately I see a small dip, to be honest. There's working in mainland, in Greece, in north, but also in south, which I've experienced, but also my experience in the islands, both visiting for a couple of months and also living very briefly and shortly. I saw the escalation in border securitization, where essentially each country slowly but surely kind of restricted and made the policies for integration more difficult. Even though it might have been in an EU policy, the application of it and the implementation of every program was kind of restrictive and it might have been a bit difficult. So I hope the more voices are heard, I hope the more activism, I hope the more information we get out there, the proper and actual information we get out there from both perspectives and both state EU policy, but also refugees get to better frame and better structure the asylum refugee process for every person. Every case is different. Even though we refer to certain policies, we refer to certain legislations, certain activities, certain programs. In the end, not every refugee is just a country and a legal status. There's a history, there is experience, there is a background of a lot of depth of what's going on or what has happened. That is what I say is the most valuable part of it. That every case is different. Every person has been through their own struggles and issues, and I'm hoping that the EU policies and also structure is there to improve and to support in the way they're saying they are. Be brave enough to speak out. Take the first step into learning. Ask. Participate. Even if you're not aware of something, find out more about it. Seek out for more knowledge. And even though prior to a couple of years ago, it was a bit more difficult, now it's more accessible through projects like these, through Pulse Z. It takes an active effort, but knowledge, I'd say, yeah. Take the time, take the patience, learn. It's an active effort that always continues and always progresses and never stops. And have an open eye, open ear for different opinions, different thoughts, different beliefs about certain ways that should be handled, because that's the best way to move forward. If you're becoming restrictive, if you become very concrete in who you are and your thoughts, you don't grow. And that would be the best advice I would give to myself. Just patience, open eye, open ears, they're our future. I mean, like even younger generations than I am, our future. They will reshape, rebuild, and lead a new path and continue the path for progression and development. So to attend to them and their actual effort matters. Even though when I was younger I didn't think it really mattered whether I participated or didn't. I did it for my own reasons, for my own personal goals. It's a fact that young generation, young people do actually matter. And their inspiration, their effort, their participation counts, each one. And even though someone might say, it's just me, trust me, it's not. By making a focal point for open communication, focal point for sharing information, and accurate and legitimate information. Because I remember even participating in a recent march that we had in Greece regarding the incidents of Tebi. Even though it was a settled date and settled time, I wasn't informed of where I'm supposed to show up. Who's organizing it? What time are they organizing it? So I saw so many posters, but they were in different platforms, different groups, different open chats or communities. To have a center point of this and the purpose of it to be legitimate and quite open about it. Because Instagram, all these applications have their own purpose, but they support and serve their own. They support and serve the process of activism in its own way. To have a focal point, the center of gravity of it, will be a lot helpful. So instead of asking around and being sometimes misinformed or misled, having a focal point really does help for open communication, discussion, but also information. We are here today, that what we sometimes take as granted, because the previous generation put the effort, the following generation put the effort to make the change, to give us the opportunity to actually be here, speak out, have the right to do these things, to seek, to ask and to do all these things and be active and participate without fear of consequences, without facing difficulties that don't align with your rights. So it is significant. It's a slow process and it's a learning process, and it's a process that doesn't stop and won't stop only to your generation, but also the next following generation, even younger kids. And it's important to lead. So when they see you, they'll know that, okay, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to head. And that's achievable and obtainable. And it's obtainable by participating and acting on it, not just thinking about it.